Hey everybody, it's Rob from Flailthroughs. This is Gundam Battle Operation 2, and this is a guest video from Chris Bleep in the Gerbera Tetra. Gerbera Tetra got a pretty good set of buffs, I think. It's got high mobility evasion, so it's got the G-Quux's dodge skill. It has tactical booster, and they also drastically improved the wrist gatlings in terms of how much stun they do. So yeah, you can stun with the uncharged beam machine gun, the charged beam machine gun, or the Gatlings pretty quickly. So, yeah, being able to do all those stuns, definitely valuable. And yeah, it does have tactical booster now, which I am still not good at using the hops, but the hops are undoubtedly valuable in in the right situation. I did manage to get them used in one round where it was not really, where I was not really quite doing well otherwise, but I did. Yeah, good use of the G-Quux evasion there, which you can use once every 15 seconds as long as you have at least a little boost. But, yeah, used it once with Gundam EX and was not quite able to do anything else good, but I was able to hop out of the corner where a bunch of other people were trying to pin me down at the enemy base. So, you know, it was definitely useful in that situation, but yeah, it's another one of those things like 3 years from now when I've used it enough and I have a good sense of it, I will be able to do okay with it. But for now, I'm not there yet. But yeah, the amount of build stun that the Gerbera can put out is a really good choice for it to go after something like the Atlas Gundam, which of course does have some defenses from being knocked out of the sky. So build stun is usually the best answer to that if you don't have a specialized weapon like the birdlime launchers, which do, like the Atlas's own Velos Medusa, cancel flight and transformation skills. That said, build stun will work. Shotguns are decent if you're close enough, but good machine guns will also do that for you. Let's see. That is that the Delta Ants or the ground type? I'm not sure. I still don't have the Delta Chi ground type. I do have the Delta Ants. I think I have it at level 3. I haven't used it a lot, but it's not bad. I have a request that's for one of them, and I'm kind of hoping I get the Delta Chi ground, but I'll probably see what I can do with the Ants because I don't want to leave the request waiting forever. Let's see. Oh, yeah, the Hazel Alsla. I took out the gigantic arm unit last night, finally, and I did okay. It is definitely one of those high-damage feast or famine kind of mobile suits, which, yeah, interestingly, and I'm going to go into some results like I did yesterday with the XS Gundam. I'm going to go into the results after this match, but they the buffs for the Super Gundam in particular panned out exactly as I kind of expected they would. They're saying it's within expectations. The damage is very high, but so are the MS losses. So yeah, just like it is pretty much the equivalent of how raids are more or less expected to behave, which is high damage and high chance of exploding. So yeah, apparently it's working out by their standards because the win rate is still in the right neighborhood. But yeah, if I remember correctly, they said the Gerbera was actually below expectations, and that kind of surprised me because I've taken it out a couple of times. Takes a Frieza color scheme very well, incidentally. And yeah, I have not had a bad round with it, which that just says to me that I guess it just is, ticking the right boxes for me in particular, because, as much as we'd all like to pretend otherwise, we are not the entire player base. So sometimes things just work out for other people more or less than they do for you. I think they also gave the Gerbera aerial melee, which, is more or less designed to work with the tactical booster. I'm not that's another thing with the Gundam EX. Of course, it is supposed to basically make its bones with jump kicks for a lot of it, and I am not good at getting those to work with the tactical booster yet. Because just the timing is a little tight, especially if you do small hops. I think you really don't have time to get the aerial melee going if you don't do a longer hop. So that's been my experience at any rate. But really ought to see if I can get like an NES Ninja Turtle color scheme on the Gundam EX, because that just reminds me so much of the jump kick attacks in the Ninja Turtles arcade game and the NES port thereof. Always did like that one. The previous Ninja Turtles game, the one with the infamous dam stage, that one not as much, but it's one of those like Ninja Gaiden where I would recommend anybody who wants to try it, make sure you're trying it on a modern system with modern emulation features, because being able to just roll back the a stage of that or one of those 30 seconds instead of having to replay an entire stage or worse, start from the beginning, definitely a preferable way of doing things. Like I am not an uphill both ways back in my day kind of gamer. It's like I love the modern features, I love the things that make the frustration of some of the older games less painful, because I no longer have quite the reflexes of a 10-year-old, and I certainly don't have the spare time of one. So, yeah, that's definitely a thing I have really enjoyed is being able to save state, rewind, reload, etc. Just it makes life better if you are able to run those games without needing to do that. I am proud of you. It is definitely a noteworthy skill, because they were not easy. They were designed to make sure that you could not finish them in a rental period, and it shows. But I think a Game's Done Quick is this next week. Looking forward to that as always, along those same lines. But yeah, that is me rambling about anything except what's in front of me, which I'm bad at. I do that. But hopefully, my brain full of useless trivia at least makes that interesting. That's always kind of the assumption I've operated under, for better or worse. 20 seconds to go. Solid lead. Chris has done really well with this. And yeah, definitely it's better with tactical booster than I am. I would have swung on that Gundam by mistake so quickly. Let's see. I was about to say, I think probably the modified Rick DJ is ready to... Oh, was it the standard Rick DJ? Either way, yeah, I've kind of figured it was ready to follow up there. But that is a nice solid win, and let's take a look at the final scores. Okay, 148,000 damage, yeah, that's and 900 assist, and top diversions, 4 and 4, 3,400. Very nice. Yeah, like I said, my experience with the Gerbera has been very good, so I don't get what why the results are below average, but at any rate, that is going to do it for today's Gundam Battle Operation 2. We will be back soon with more. Till next time, everybody take care and have fun. Later. Yeah, so like I said, it did get the high mobility evasion system skill, which is the it gives you a nice touchpad flip once every 15 seconds or so. You have to be boosting when you do it, so you have to have some boost, but still basically means that the Gerbera can have triple dodge roll if you play your cards right. And yeah, it has tactical boost level 1, which lets you break directly into a jump after boosting or jumping. Aerial melee system level 2 is the one that I believe gives you an attack bonus as opposed to penalty when you're using your melee in the air. And also, its assault booster was adjusted from level 3 to level 4, which means it's harder to knock out of the air. Power on the beam saber went up from 2,400 to 2,600 at level 1. Has better combo compensation, so you lose less power on the subsequent swings, and it is now compatible with aerial melee. Yeah, the ARM Vulcans now have 220 power per shot as opposed to 200. Rate of fire increased and more build stun. And now the part that confuses me a little bit. Okay, it says within expectation. I swear when I looked at it before it said below, but maybe I'm confusing that with something else. Because, yeah, the buffs are definitely very good. At 550, the level 1 was at 48.1% average win rate. It is now at the exact raid type average of 50.9%. Rival win rate went from 46.5 to 50.7%. So the rival win rate for raids at 550 is actually 51%, but that's still, around the 50% range is, about right. Damage dealt, the average for raids at 550, 86,000. It went from 73 to 84. So, much closer. And MS losses actually have not changed, 3.8 to 3.8, with the average being 3.6. So, yeah, to be honest, I think that's just a consequence of it being used more often. That's how it happens a lot of time with this. People who haven't used it in forever take it out, get it blown up, and in the short term, at least, the MS losses go up. At 600, the level 2 had a 45.3% win rate. It is now up to 50.5, which is a little bit of a cut above the raid average at 649.3%. Likewise, the raid average for rival wins is 47.4%. It was at 40%. Now it's at 50.3%. So much better. 92,000 is the average damage for a raid type at 600. It was down to at 66,000, but it is now up to 90K, so much more in the ballpark. Interestingly, yeah, it seems like it is doing its win and rival win rates are very good, but it's not reaching like the upper ends of the average damage for any cost. My guess is the things that do build stun like that and can, sneak in shots like the beam machine gun are really good for finishing off suits. So that it's probably just getting a lot of good shots in when and where they're needed, even if it's not, getting as high damage totals as some of the other things. In terms of losses at 600, 3.6 is the average for raids. It was down at 3.3. And it's now up to 4.1. Like I said, I think that's a consequence of people just using it more, because probably the only people using the Gerbera Tetra at 600 at that point were the people who really loved it. And so they, the loss count was much lower. Also, they were probably being, very careful with it and trying to play it at range, which is why the very low damage with the very low losses. One of those things where it's just not contributing enough. Okay, at 650, 51.6 is the average win rate for raids at that cost. Level 3 Gerbera was 45.6%. It is now at 50.7, which again, not at the average, but still very solid. However, its rival win is actually above the average. Average for raids at 650 is 52.0%. It is now at 52.4, up from 35.9, so that is a lot better. Likewise, damage is in spitting distance of the average, which is 102,000. It's now at 104,000, or 101,000, excuse me, up from 67. And at this cost, the losses are spot on, which they were both before and after. 3.6. Okay, so at 700, the raid type average win rate is only 47.5%. That makes sense. There's some really powerful generals that come in at 700. Level 4 Gerbera was at 45.5. It is now up to 50%. Okay, yeah, so it can hang at 700 pretty well. Rival win rate at 700, 49.7, up from 33.1. Average is 45. Like I said, I have a feeling it's just capitalizing well on low health suits, which, things with long range beam rifles do. Because the average damage for a raid type at 700 is 102K. It was at 69K, not that nice. And is now up to almost 89,000. So, yeah, given that the damage is up, but not hitting the average, but its win rate and rival win rates are above average just leads me to believe, yeah, it is, picking off things that are weak enough to go in the Pokeball effectively. And lastly, it's the losses were at 3.4, which is below the average of 3.6, and now up to 3.9. Again, I have a feeling that's just a consequence of people taking it in at that cost when they otherwise would not have done. So, but yeah, it's a lot of fun to use. It's more agile. It is good at planting damage where it's needed and landing build stun on things that need it. And just, yeah, it's a good time.